Diolch yn fawr i chi gyd am ddod mewn niferoedd cymaint heddi. Mae'n dda iawn i fod yma yn Sir Benfro, ac yn ei gwerthfawrogi bod chi wedi cyfrannu o'ch amser prin i ymuno â ni heddi. Mi wnewn ni'n gorau i wneud yn siŵr bod y cyflwyniadau i ni'n rhoi i chi yn rhai perthnasol a chryno ac yn ychwanegu gwerth at eich busnes. Mae'n teimlo fel amser hir iawn ers i ni fod ar ein cylchdaith blynyddol llynedd. Mae yna dipyn wedi digwydd ers hynny. Yn gyffredinol, mae wedi bod yn flwyddyn ddiddorol a llwyddiannus iawn, ond wrth gwrs mae yna rwystrau sylweddol wedi codi yng nghwrs y flwyddyn hefyd ar gyfer rhai ardaloedd o Gymru yn benodol. Jyst i grynhoi, dwi am siarad heddi chydig bach am ein hail strwythuro mewnol ni yn Croeso Cymru, diddordeb i chi. Dwi hefyd eisiau sôn am wythnos Dwristiaeth Cymru, a hefyd jyst rhoi penawdau i chi o'n hymgyrch farchnata bresennol. It's great to be here. As you'll have heard if you've got the headsets to work, it feels like a very long time since we were doing our industry workshops last year. There's been a lot on. It's been a great year, although I'm aware that different sectors have been affected in slightly different ways, and there have been some big challenges for some parts of the industry as well. I'm going to talk about three things just in this short preface. First of all, I'll talk about our structure in Visit Wales and the reorganisation that has been underway. I will talk briefly about Wales Tourism Week, and then finally just introduce the marketing campaign about which then you will hear more from Mari and from Sam. So this time last year, an important part of our workshops was consultation on our emerging strategy. And I will repeat again, that was intended to be a strategy that was for the whole industry, not just for Visit Wales. So it was very important that we set up robust partnerships at that time. We had over 1,000 pieces of feedback to that consultation, and the strategy itself was published in June. So now, since then, we've been working, the focus has shifted to working on the action plan and the delivery of the strategy. We have realigned our internal structures to suit the delivery of that strategy. And as well as Helen Davis, who's here today, many of you will know, and Rob Holt, we have recruited 2 new senior members of staff. Mary Stevens, who you'll hear from presently as our Director of Marketing, comes to us after a very distinguished career in broadcasting and in Welsh Water most recently. But mainly, I should say, she's just told me Gary was her first boss, and she did start off in tourism in Mid-Wales. And Jane Richardson, our new Director of Partnerships, who's not able to be with us today. She's very well, unfortunately, but is going to be based in Llandudno and comes to us from the National Trust. I should perhaps mention, before I leave the subject of reorganisation, a subject which I know many of you are engaged in, which is the regional tourism partnerships. You'll be aware that we've just undertaken a consultation on the future of the regional tourism partnerships. I would like to take this opportunity just to underline that consultation was not a consultation on the principle of support for the regions. That is taken as an important given, but about the mechanism and the delivery of that support. And so, I appreciate that it has been a very difficult time for those who are directly involved in that area. It's never easy to have times of uncertainty. But it has been timely to look at it. There are considerable budgets at stake at these times when, obviously everybody's budgets are under pressure. And, we need to make sure that in times when there are wider organisational considerations at stake, and there are, obviously all kinds of longer term changes which are being mooted, that we make sure that it's all as fit for purpose as it can be in serving the industry. So to turn to my second point, when I started this series of workshops, we were just coming out of Wales Tourism Week. That feels like quite a long time ago now. Obviously that was sort of the traditional start of the sort of spring season, and the WTA, who I see are represented here today, very ably led a week of visits and events, encouraging tourism associations, trade organisations and businesses across the country to highlight the importance of the industry. It was a great opportunity to showcase our tourism product following on last year's successful awards, and I know we'll hear more about that later, some of the best tourism product we have to offer. And generally it was a means of emphasising the important contribution that the industry makes to local communities economically and in other ways too. Some of the key messages that we were able to bring across, 2013 looks on the whole to have been a pretty good year. Domestically, we are gaining ground against a lot of our competition, particularly here in the home nations. We had an 8% increase in numbers and 12% increase in spend in the first 9 months. Obviously, more statistics are coming in on a week-by-week and month-by-month basis. The picture isn't quite so rosy when you look at our international visitors, so there's a lot of focus and work to be done there. And again, Mary will talk a bit more about that when she gets into the marketing campaign in more detail. But it's very gratifying that, no least due to hard work of industry members and partners, that Wales was voted as one of the top 5 places in the world to visit in 2014 by the readers of the Rough Guide. So that kind of brand building is becoming very precious to us. We are, despite all the difficulties that the beginning of 2014 has brought in terms of weather and so forth, we are taking advantage of this opportunity now in the launch of our spring campaign to emphasise that Wales is open for business. The government has provided some funding to have some quick repairs undertaken to the regions which have been most badly hit by the storms and the weather, and we're well on our way now, I think, to putting that behind us. Great to hear that Rhossili Beach is still being recognised as one of the best beaches in the world earlier this week. So, that's something which is a cause for optimism. To turn to the campaign, just to give you the headlines, £4 million has been spent on this campaign, half of which came from European funding, the other half from a team of partners here in Wales, including Visit Wales. The fact that there is European funding in the mix means that we've had to observe certain guidelines in terms of the choice of product featured. But all of the product that's featured in our campaign is product that we are very proud to feature and would have wanted to feature. This, I should emphasise, as in any campaign, you've got to look at the longer term and consistency in building up brands. This is not meant to be an exhaustive inventory of everything Wales has to offer. And from year to year, we have to feature different areas and different products and so forth. It is part of, as I said, brand building. We're very proud of the television advert this year, which is an important part of the campaign. We've managed to use some wonderful Welsh talent. It was directed by Mark Evans, and it features the gorgeous voice of Cerys Matthews singing a lovely Welsh song. And the point of it is to emphasise that those goals that we set out in the strategy are being achieved. We're underlining the fact that Wales can offer a warm welcome, outstanding quality, excellent value for money, and memorable and authentic experiences. So we'll hear more about that in a moment. The campaign has had, and it's too early to tell, obviously, how successful it is in terms of hitting the bottom line in various businesses. But we are having a tremendous reaction online at the moment, and we're having our best month ever on the website. So that's all pretty promising. At this stage, I could run through a very long list of events that happened last year and are due to happen this year. But I think it's more important to move on to consideration of the campaign. So I'll skip that bit and just say, we are looking forward very much to working with you in what is going to be a very exciting year. We've got some fantastic opportunities, as well as the staples of the event calendar here in South West Wales. The fact that NATO is happening in Newport is something that's going to be very important for everybody in Wales in terms of brand building, and we're looking forward to working on that. So thank you again for your time, and I look forward to answering any questions after we've had the morning's presentations. Diolch o galon.